Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate partners or clients without cold calling, ad spend, or spamming, be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Excited to have Nick with me today. Nick, why don't you take a quick moment to introduce yourself and the company that you work for?
Sure. My name's Nick Nanan. I've been in this industry for going on almost 15 years at this point. And I work for the leading augmented reality education company in the world called Merge EDU. And we're based in Texas, but we're over in business in over 100 different countries. So we're just happy to bring things to life.
Wow. It sounds like you're over 100 countries would be much of the globe.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to go for the full thing, but we'll see.
Well, I suppose some countries are harder to get into than others.
Hey, if there's people there, I'm sure we can figure out the same way to get in and get out. So
cool. So what's something interesting about yourself outside of work?
I was actually I was thinking about this the other night because I think you asked it in your questionnaire. There's a point where I was a pro surfer actually, and I've told this story to maybe a handful of people, but I never wanted a real corporate job. Like when I was a kid, I just wanted to be rich. But when I found out like surfers could make huge money, like Kelly Slater, I joined tour and I was on tour for a little bit. But I went from a corporate job where I made like salary.
Yeah.
So I expected a paycheck every 2 weeks as opposed to I'm having to fight for my paychecks.
Yep.
And I only lasted about 10 to 12 weeks. And so I ended up running out of money and I wasn't paying for my tickets. And I did really well at the beginning. I won a couple first and second places, beat some pretty great surfers and ran out of money. So I called my dad to get some help and he goes, "You want to be a surfer, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, surf home." Click. So a little tough love from dad there. So, yeah.
So like, is the, if you, in the tournaments, is there good, there's cash purses then?
Yeah, there's cash purses. There's a lot of formal and informal tournaments. So there's some informal ones that can pay anywhere from like if you come in first place, anywhere from like 5 to maybe 20 grand. So
well, not bad for a week. What is it, a weekend or a day or?
Sometimes it's just a day. It's not even the full day. It's like 3 to 4 hours. Because some of these guys that surf on these I guess I don't want to say underground, but it's the ocean. So
Yeah.
these underground surf tournaments, like they're well known, but they're brutal too. Surfing is a very tribal sport still. So
basically you could show up, walk away 4 hours later with 20 grand in your pocket.
yeah, but you also have to put money in order to risk it because there might be 20 guys in there. All of us might have to throw in a grand. So if you do lose, you're walking away with nothing, but you're negative 1,000 now.
So if you don't play, so basically if you don't place, you're walking away with $1,000 less in your pocket than you should.
Oh, absolutely. And if there's always stories and stuff like that. And I think the underground surfer Reddit is a great place for some of these older guys to tell their stories. They're like, yeah, my first time winning 5 grand, then somebody robbed me in the parking lot and stole my money because it's a cash purse. So yeah.
And I suppose everybody know, like, the thieves know that there's
absolutely.
And then you're just they're advertising it too, I suppose. Like you make a big deal about the winner. So so it's advertising that so and so just has 5 grand right now. Go mug them in the parking lot.
I mean, could you imagine if SaaS sales reps got paid in cash for our bonuses? Like April 15th, there would just be a bunch of people in the parking lots ready to mug us at the end of work. It's like, yeah, they got their Q1 bonuses today.
Right.
It'd be as terrifying.
The good ones have like tons of cash in their pocket.
Oh yeah, they're walking out there with a duffel bag, and it's like, this is 20K that I made this last month. Yeah, thank God there's the debit and credit system. I appreciate that about the world. So
you don't have to worry about getting mugged in the parking lot.
Yeah,
taking your bonus home.
So
cool. Anyways, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, or What do you contribute to your success to? And how can others learn from that and apply that in their own lives, their own businesses to be more successful?
Um, one of the things I stress the most, and so I used to always want to be parts of like big companies when I got back into the traditional corporate world, where there'd be a person assigned to every single like duty and role. So recruiting, so on and so forth. I am the one man kind of like sales army because I want to do everything. I want to do both direct and channel, and I want to build things. Uh, if I can go back and like help my younger self, I'd be want to be more empathetic and understanding that as you get people to carry your product, as you get customers to buy into your product and things like that, and the specialty that I have is getting people to understand like how they care and how our product actually fits into their roadmap and their portfolio. I think too many times people think that their product is the be all end all and the most perfect product, and everyone else should just give up everything else they're selling and do it. Um, my specialty is getting people to care about my product and having the influence over them, because it may not be the most great revenue driving product, like the biggest one, but it will be the one that opens the most doors for you, and it will be the one that gets the most supported from the manufacturer. And also just being able to build a channel overnight. Like for every company I've worked in for the last 10 years, I come in and I build our channel partnerships and our direct sales just for my previous relationships, or just being able to be kind to people and get them to care. I think that's probably the best thing, because building a channel honestly is like building your own family.
Mhm.
You got to pick the right people to be in it.
And what else is important to know about this?
I think there's an aspect where your processes and your organization, you have to have a code of rules and conducts that you carry yourself by, and you expect your channel partners to do the same. That you have to know exactly what the ins and outs and the breaks and the flexible points are. I don't think a lot of people really question themselves on what they're willing to accept until it either gets too stressful or it gets too bad. I've seen a lot of people allow their sales market and their resellers and their channel partners to really push them all the way against the wall. And by the time they realize it, it's too late, and their product's already overvalued and too much of like a commodity that loses the entire market.
That's very interesting. So, what other tips do you have for people to be more successful in their life?
You got to put in the work. I'm really tired of products coming to market and not checking the boxes. If you have a product that's so difficult to learn that you don't have a PD team, or you have a deployment team or a customer success team that's actually able to make your product successful after the purchase and be able to be used, your product should fail and flop. And I see too many people out there that believe that because the product is so easy for them because they're the creator and it makes sense to them, that it'll make sense to everybody else. Everybody thinks differently. You have to check the boxes to make sure that it's easy to deploy, it's easy to use, it's keeping up with the competitor rates, and it's actually able to be like rolled out pretty quickly. If you're a smaller company, and this is another thing I see that I'm just not a big fan of, your only asset that you have over major companies, if you take the competitors that are going up against Salesforce right now and creating their own CRMs, your stuff has to be more fluid, has to be more agile, and has to be easier to use. But the last thing is your company should be moving faster to get back to their customers than anybody else. One of your greatest strengths is your quickness to be able to reach your consumer. Because at Salesforce, there's a lot of levels of stuff because they've fought it, they've taken over the entire market,
Mhm.
and they're a behemoth in the market. That doesn't mean that your product is any less valuable necessarily, but you have to provide a service that is unbeatable to them.
Got it. Any final thoughts on this?
I think there's an entire spectrum right now where we're going through the entire software as a service aspect that's going to be an upheaval, because I think people have now understood like there's almost a 10 commandments of what you need to have to be a successful software company. And that works in different roles. That means having SDRs that are able to actually properly profile a customer and make sure that they're going to be the right person, passing it on to an AE that's going to be able to build a relationship and be able to solve the solutions that are there. But just because something is valuable doesn't mean it's the actual proper solution. Just because it saves time doesn't mean it's going to be the biggest point to it. So I think people need to take a better stance of understanding their customer and understanding what they actually need and asking the hard hitting questions. Because I think being nice to somebody is never going to be a favor to them. It's only a favor to you.
Got it. And I guess the opportunity for an elevator pitch. Who should be partners with you guys? I guess we're
Yeah.
talking about channel here. So who should be partners with you, and why should they be your partner?
I think when it comes down to it, for our product, we have a solution that is going to be able to change so many different things. Because for the first time in the reality of the world with technology keeping up finally with education, anything you want, you're actually able to finally hold in your hand. So I can actually send you the Eiffel Tower. You can deploy it in the space you're in, and walk around the physical Eiffel Tower just using a simple device, whether that's a Chromebook, whether that's a phone. You would be able to take anything to life. 65% of the world are what we call visual or spatial learners. We're now able to teach that strength, and there's no better product to actually bring to your school and outfit everybody for less than $2,500 that would be able to do that and bring everything that textbook to life. Most kids are falling behind because there's a lack of engagement. Merge is the only thing that's going to keep them engaged and keep it longer, for a longer piece that's actually going to be fair to everybody and equitable, but also it's going to be easy to deploy for every single teacher, whether you are a teacher that's a first year or you're a teacher that's in your 25th year. Merge is the answer for you. That's it.
Got it. And what's the best way to get a hold of you if somebody wanted to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is just nick@mergeedu.com. That's it.
Email nick at
mergeedu.com.
Yeah. Well, got it. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for your time here today and sharing your wisdom and knowledge. It's been my pleasure having you on here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to hear more about your system as well. So
cool. Well, we can chat further after we're done here, which
awesome.
Pretty much we are. So thanks again. And until next time on the Prophets of IT, I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads or appointments with clients or prospective partners, be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Prophets of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.